Hello and welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about lie detector test. You already know that the nation has witnessed a very horrific incident in Kolkata in which a trainee doctor has been brutally raped and murdered, and after that several investigations have been carried out. Into that response, lie detector test has been also carried out. So that's why we are going to discuss the today's news. So moving towards the points of discussion part. So we'll have discussion on news. Then we are going to discuss about the DDTs, which is deception detection test. Then we are going to discuss about the precedents of 2010, that what was the court's opinion before 2010 regarding the lie detector test. Then we are going to discuss about a Selvi case and what was the court decision after that, and then we are going to discuss about the concerns related to the lie detector test, and then practice question for prelims. Before that, you have to like, share and subscribe to the Drishti IAS channel. Moving towards the news part. So, as you already know that the Supreme Court had asked CBI to investigate into such matters, and CBI is investigating into such kind of the matters. So, what we have seen that CBI has conducted the second polygraph test of all the 7 accused, including the ex-principal of RG Medical College. So, this is the news which we are going to cover up in today's session. So, moving towards the test part. So, we'll have discussion on deception detection test. In short, it is known as DDT test. So, what is DDT test? So, it is a scientific procedures through which we are able to know that whether the accused is telling truth or not. Though we cannot say that their information is reliable and we could take it as an evidence, but this is a scientific procedures and we have 3 kinds of DDTs. The first is narcoanalysis, the second is polygraph test, and the third is brain mapping. So these 3 are widely used in Indian crime scene and it has been widely used by the CBI and different investigative agency. So we'll discuss one by one that what these tests are. So first of all, we are going to discuss about the polygraph test. So as you already know that polygraph test is often also known as the lie detector. So this is about the polygraph test, and what happens to this thing that this measures the physical response like blood pressure, sweating and heart rate while a person answers the question. So due to your physiological changes, the person, it is able to know that the person is lying or not. Though there are scientifically proven things, but these information are not liable in nature and we cannot say that these things should be taken as an evidence. So suppose that what happened into this situation, that suppose there is a needle inserted in your cardio cuff and they are asking few questions, and due to the physiological changes there is a numerical value given to your all kind of the things, and on the basis of all those numerical value it is decided that whether the person is lying or not, or the person is being deceptive or not. So this is about the polygraph test that causes noticeable changes in these responses and they were assigned the numerical value so that we are able to know that the person is being deceptive or not. So this is about the polygraph test. So these are the indicators: blood pressure, sweating and heart rate. Now we'll have another one which is about the narcoanalysis. So what happened into this narcoanalysis? So a drug is injected into the accused body, and what's the drug name? So the drug name is sodium pentothal, and with the help of sodium pentothal the person will go in a drowsy state or hypnotic state, and that makes the situation in which the person will have chances to less lie. So though we cannot say that the person is fully right or not in this kind of the situation, but there are chances that the person will less lie and we are able to know the truth. But still we cannot be reliable to such kind of a thing, and that's why sodium pentothal is also known as the truth serum. So this is about that. Now we'll have a third one, which is about the brain mapping. So what happened in this technique, that this technique uses sensors to track the brain activity, and if person's brain reacts by seeing different kind of the images, different kind of the hearing voices, in that situation they will decide that the person is lying or not, or the person is being deceptive or not. So we have already discussed the lie detector, narcoanalysis and brain mapping. These three are widely used to know the person is lying or not. So this is about all these procedures. Now we'll have discussion on pre-2010 precedents. So this has been often questioned and matter of debates and discussion that lie detector should be used or not. Though I wanted to tell you that these lie detectors are always used with the consent of the accused and with the permission of the court. In this case, Calcutta High Court had given the permission. So what was the cases related to such kind of the lie detector and any kind of the narcoanalysis test? So we are going to discuss few cases related to this. So we have first case is Rojo George versus Deputy Superintendent of Police 2006. In this case, what Kerala High Court had observed that this is a very scientific method, very sophisticated and modern and essential for effective investigation. So this is about the Rojo George versus Deputy Superintendent of Police. So this is the opinion of Kerala High Court into this thing. Then we have Dinesh Dalmia versus State 2006. In this case, Madras High Court had observed that reliance on these states only investigative agency did not constitute the testimonial compulsion, and the court also placed these scientific methods of investigation as safer alternative to the custodial violence often used to extract information. So here we have to focus on the two terms. The first thing is the testimonial compulsion and the second is that alternative of the custodial violence. So we often see that the police and various kind of investigative agencies uses different kind of torturous method to extract the truth from the person. In this case, the court had observed that this is a scientific method, and in this case we don't have to torture the accused, and this case will able to know about that whether the person is lying or not, and also this is not against the right of the person. So that's why this is testimonial compulsion. So this is about the pre-2010 precedents. So what happened after 2010? So we have a landmark judgment in the 2010, which is Selvi versus State of Karnataka. In this watershed movement, the Supreme Court had observed that no lie detector test should be administered except on the basis of consent of the accused, and it also infringes the right of the person, which is against the self-incrimination, which has been enshrined into the Article 23 of the Indian Constitution, and it also violates the Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, which is about the right to privacy. So you already know that we have this provision of that freedom of speech and expression, and we have also this provision that right to remain silent, and also that right against the self-incrimination. So what happened that in US and various other countries, this is also if you can use such kind of the test, this is against their fundamental rights. So in this case, the Supreme Court also tried to locate that this is against the fundamental rights and we should avoid such kind of the test, and we have to use such kind of the test in case of whether the accused had himself and herself given the consent. In that case we can use that, but we should not use such kind of a thing and we must avoid such kind of a thing. So after this case, this had happened, but what had happened that after the Supreme Court tough words onto such kind of the test, the investigation agency still uses such kind of the test, and in the West what we have seen and in other countries the usage of such kind of test has been decreased, but in India it has not decreased despite Supreme Court judgment into such kind of the things, and it has significantly increased, and recently it had been used in 2020 Hathras gang rape case, in 2012 disappearance of Sheena Bora, and 2022 Sardha Walker murder case. So this has been widely used, But various experts, medical experts, investigative agency of the world had raised concern over it, and they said that okay, it is okay that we have to take consent from the accused to give for the polygraph test or any kind of narco analysis test. But those persons are into the police custody or judicial custody, and in that case it's very difficult to determine that whether they are giving their consent by their choice or not. So this is also a matter of debate that whether they are forced to give such kind of test or not. So these are the existing concerns we have, and also various investigation, various research has suggested that these tests are not reliable in nature and they cannot be treated as evidence. So that's why these are the existing concerns we have related to such kind of the test. Now we'll come to the question part. The question is, what substance is commonly used in narcoanalysis to induce a sedated state in the accused? Sodium chloride, sodium pentothal, potassium cyanide, lithium. So you have to answer this into the comment section. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.